Hello and welcome to the third video about the Flexi Loop configuration. In the last video we configured the hardware of our application, and in this video we will start creating the corresponding logic. Let's start straight in the logic editor of the FSD. On the left side we see our available elements which are connected to the inputs of the FlexiSoft station. Additionally, this time there's the category Flexi Loop. Here you can find the Flexi Loop safety bit as well as the connected auxiliary inputs. The Flexi Loop auxiliary outputs are in the tab Outputs. Simply by adding the Flexi Loop safe input, you add the whole cascade to the logic. Without Flexi Loop, you would need to add all your sensors and switches separately and connect them with an AND block. Let us add a reset block and connect it with the cascade, as well as with the reset switch, which is connected to the aux in of the first node. Now I'm just going to add a few functions. The start and stop function as well as the lock unlock function. To keep this tutorial short and interesting, I'm going to skip this part, because these functions were mostly explained in the designer's basic tutorial. The start and stop function as well as the lock unlock function for the i10 are implemented and visualized via the HMI. Now we have actually finished the logic creation. However, there are still some Flexi Loop specific functions we need to implement. First, we want to know when a reset or restart of the machine is required. In the basic tutorials, I have explained the reset required output of the reset block. Due to the response time of Flexi Loop's diagnostic channel, this output cannot be used to make the lamps on the non-safe outputs of the Flexi Loop node flash. Therefore, we need to use the flashing mode. The reset required lamp will be connected to the reset block via an AND function block. We showed this technique in the FSD basic series. Connect the inputs of the AND block with the enable and the release condition fulfilled output of the reset block. Then we invert the first input of the AND block. Now we have a constant reset required signal and can add the lamp. To actually make the lamp flash, we just need the flashing mode. We find it under Outputs, Flexi Loop. There are flashing mode 1 and flashing mode 2. The difference between those two is the frequency of the flashing. To activate this mode, we just connect it via a routing block to a static 1. Another aspect we need to consider is the output monitoring of the 8-pin nodes. This function is activated by default and causes that the auxiliary output state cannot change while the auxiliary input is high. While this function is of crucial importance regarding reset switches, it has to be deactivated when using locks, because you will never be able to unlock the device with this function being active. You can find the deactivation function in the same category as the flashing mode. Our lock is connected to the Flexi Loop node number 4, so we pick the corresponding element and drag it in the logic configuration window. It is activated in the same way as the flashing mode. Therefore, we connect it to the same static 1 input. It is of vital importance that you never deactivate the monitoring on a loop node that has a reset connected to its aux in, because the observation function prevents an incorrect signal in the case of a cross circuit between the aux in and the aux out. That's it with the logic creation. We now have a fully functional Flexi Loop cascade with a flashing reset required lamp and a working lock. If you want, you can also test the general functionalities of the logic with the offline simulation mode. This feature is explained in the designer's basic tutorial number 4. In the next video, we are going to transfer our configuration to the FlexiSoft to see how it works.